Welcome back. Tonight is for the person who spins on decisions, replays conversations, and waits for the perfect moment that never shows up. Overthinking looks like effort, but it steals time and gives nothing back. We're trading loops for motion, pressure for clarity, and turning today into a day you actually moved. Overthinking usually starts with unclear goals and too many inputs. Your brain tries to calculate every outcome and protect you from embarrassment, wasted effort, and regret. The result is delay. Delay makes the task feel bigger, which creates more thinking, which creates more delay. The way out is to make decisions easier to begin and cheaper to test, so small actions become your default. Start with a simple filter for the day. What matters most for the next 12 hours? Not your whole life. Just today. Pick one priority that would actually change your week if you moved it. Write it where you can see it. You can still do other tasks, but nothing jumps in front of that one. Shrink the entry cost. Most tasks feel heavy because the start is vague. Replace vague with visible. Open the exact file you need. Put the key link at the top. Type the first ugly sentence. Lay the shoes by the door. Put the pan on the stove. If you can see the first motion, the start takes less willpower. Overthinking lives in fog. Your job is to clear a square meter of it. Decisions get easier with limits. Give yourself a short round to choose and stick to it. A few minutes to gather options, a couple to pick, then lock it. If the choice is reversible, you don't need perfect, you need fast and adjustable. Save perfection for moves you cannot undo. Everything else is a draft with legs. Your brain needs fewer tabs open. Dump everything you're holding into a capture list. Not fancy, just a quick brain dump. When the thought tries to return, point it to the list and return to the task. You're not ignoring it, you're parking it. A parked car doesn't block the road. Break work into honest chunks. Touch the hard task for 5 minutes. If you want to stop at 5, you can. Most of the time you'll keep going because momentum replaced dread. Overthinking needs stillness to survive. Movement starves it. Give yourself a rule for the first hour. No group chat, no news, no endless scroll. Your brain wakes up with limited decision fuel. Spend it on your priorities, not the internet's emergencies. If you want background sound, fine, but keep your hands on your work. When fear shows up, name it simply. You're worried you'll waste time, look silly, or pick wrong. Accept that a small waste today is cheaper than a big waste next month. You learn faster by moving. Every rep gives you data thinking can't provide. Action is research. Use constraints to focus. One tool, one location, one window. If you're scripting, write in a single doc with headers prepped. If you're editing, keep clips and assets in one folder and close everything else. If you're studying, pick one chapter and one timer. Constraints reduce the room where the mind wanders. Kill the all or nothing mindset. Partial progress counts. 5 reps beat 0. One paragraph beats a perfect outline that never becomes real. You're building a bias for motion, not auditioning for a productivity award. Low expectations get you started. Once you're moving, quality rises on its own. Comparison pours gasoline on overthinking. Mute anything that makes you judge your pace. Replace 20 minutes of scrolling with 20 minutes of building something tiny. A thumbnail draft, a section of script, a tidy drawer, a short walk. Brains trust evidence. Give yours evidence that you choose motion. Plan your stuck routine in advance so you don't negotiate with yourself while stuck. Stand up. Drink water. Breathe out longer than you breathe in for a minute. Sit and do the smallest next piece for 5 minutes. If you still can't move, switch to a side quest that supports the main work, like naming files or outlining sections. Keep the engine warm. Match your decision altitude to the problem. If you're choosing a new project, zoom out and ask what shifts your life in 3 months. If you're choosing the next sentence, zoom in and ask what the listener needs in this paragraph. Overthinking often comes from mixing altitudes, turning a small task into a life decision or squeezing a life decision into a tiny to-do. Match the scale and the noise drops. Use a 2-part check to stop loops. What is the actual problem? What is the next physical action? The problem is not that you're bad at this. The problem is the file is blank, the structure is missing, or the title isn't chosen. The next action is open the doc, list possible structures, pick a working title. Do that, then reassess. Loops die when you feed them steps. Build a quick start ritual under 2 minutes and never change it. Sit open dock, type one throwaway line, set a short timer, go. Repeat the same sequence until your brain links it to start. Ritual beats motivation. Keep a wins ledger. Overthinkers forget completions and only feel the undone. Write 3 completions per day, even basic ones. Answered email. Walk 10 minutes. Recorded the intro. That list becomes a map of your true pace and protects you from the lie that you never move. When you need clarity from someone else, ask for it fast and simple. One message that states the situation, your draft plan, and the one question you need answered. You're not trying to look brilliant, you're trying to get unblocked. Many delays are communication delays. Fix those and half your overthinking disappears. Use public micro-commitments when helpful. Tell a kind friend the one thing you'll finish by tonight and send a photo when done. Not every day, but when stuck, a tiny nudge breaks loops. Pick someone who respects effort, not a critic who demands perfect. Protect energy like it's part of the project, because it is. Hydrate early. Eat some protein. Step outside for light. Move a little. Choose a real bedtime. These are not lifestyle lectures. These are the basics that make thinking quieter and choices faster. If you're rebuilding after a streak of not doing, don't wait for the clean slate of a new week. Start in the middle of a messy afternoon. Open one thing and move it 1 inch. Send one message. Name one file. Place one block. End the day with an honest win and sleep on that feeling. Your brain will reach for it tomorrow. Accept that nerves are normal. The goal is not to erase them, it's to move while they exist. Confident people still feel doubt. They just don't let doubt hold the steering wheel. You can feel and do at the same time. If you're torn between 2 decent choices, flip a coin to expose your gut. While it's in the air, you'll notice which outcome you want. Pick that and move. If you truly have no preference, pick the path that gives faster feedback. Feedback beats theory. Close each day with a 2-line review. One thing you did right. One thing you'll do differently tomorrow. That's it. Close the notebook. This keeps your mind from running all night and gives you a clean launch in the morning. Tomorrow's plan should be boring on purpose. 1 priority, 2 supporting tasks, 1 flex. Put the priority in the first work block before messages and noise. If you finish early, great. If not, you still moved the thing that matters. You don't need a new personality to stop overthinking. You need a setup that makes starting easy, a bias toward action, and a habit of closing the day without drama. Do the first 2 minutes, get the first win, repeat more days than not. Boring work beats anxious thought every time. Now let's expand into daily context so the habit sticks everywhere. Start with mornings. Most people lose the day in the first 30 minutes. Build a landing pad the night before. Put the 3 things you need where your morning hand will find them. Water bottle. Headphones. First file open. Morning brains are low bandwidth. Remove choices and you stop wasting energy on easy decisions. Commutes and transitions are loop zones. Waiting rooms, buses, the car before you go in. Preload a micro task that fits those pockets. Dictate a sentence. Brainstorm 3 hooks. Skim a short list for class. Teach your brain that small pockets equal small steps. Loops lose ground when the day is packed with tiny wins. For creative work, warm up like a camera lens. Start wide with a messy mind map. Move to medium with a rough structure. Finish close with a single paragraph or a single scene. Overthinking tries to jump to close without a warm-up. Build the sequence and flow shows up sooner. For study, split it into 2 rounds. Round 1 is exposure without pressure. Skim, mark confusing spots, write questions. Round 2 solves those marked spots. Overthinking tries to master and memorize in one pass. Separate the jobs and the mind calms down. For fitness, make beginning easier than skipping. Put shoes where you trip over them. Choose a movement you can do in any clothes without equipment. Tie it to something you already do, like boiling water or brushing teeth. When the start is frictionless, the debate gets shorter. For food and money, future you beats thinking you. Decide defaults in advance. Keep a short list of go-to meals and go-to budgets. If you tend to order junk at night, set the default earlier in the day. If you overspend on impulse, Create a small delay rule like no purchases before noon or a 10-minute pause between add to cart and buy. You're shaping the path, not battling willpower. For social life, practice clean exits. After a chat, give yourself 1 minute to review and choose a single upgrade for next time, then mark the end physically by standing up, stretching, or changing rooms. Closing the loop on purpose prevents the hour-long replay. For digital life, use 2 doors. Door 1 is the work door where only intentional apps live. Door 2 is entertainment you open on purpose later. Keep them on separate screens so your thumb doesn't drift. When everything sits on one home screen, your attention leaks. Look at decision debt. Every open loop adds interest. You don't have to clear all the debt today, but pick 2 you can close within an hour. The stale tab gets closed or saved to a real reading list. The dreaded email gets a short reply that sets expectations. The form gets its first line filled. 2 closures release more mental bandwidth than you expect. Build a weekly rhythm. A short reset once a week prevents the pileup. Review the calendar and cancel anything you wouldn't say yes to again. Rename events with a real purpose so you don't show up confused. Pick one small experiment for the week. Post at a consistent time. Study with a specific timer. Batch cook once. Experiments make motion playful and give you data to improve. If you work with others, create clarity contracts. Write down the definition of done and the 2 constraints that matter most. Overthinking explodes when done is fuzzy. When you agree on done, choices get faster. Run quick practice rounds. You need to send a message that might sound dumb. Draft 3 versions under 3 lines. Pick the clearest and ship it. You need to start a video but feel blank. Write the outro first to force the promise, then the intro, then fill the middle with 3 beats. You need to return to a project you ghosted. Own the delay in 1 line, share the smallest next step, put a date on it. Keep your dignity. Keep moving. If a spike of anxiety hits mid-task, run a desk-friendly reset. Feet flat. Relax shoulders. Inhale through the nose and exhale a bit longer. Soften your gaze and look at something far away. That tells your nervous system the environment is safe enough to act. When you need ideas, use boxes instead of blank pages. Fill 3 boxes like problem, approach, proof. Or hook, promise, path. Boxes invite decisions. Blank space invites loops. Use a half-day save on rough days. At lunch, declare the morning a write-off and start a brand new day at 1 in the afternoon. Pick 1 item and win the afternoon. You can salvage more than you think when you stop telling yourself the day is already lost. On long projects, set mile markers. Choose meaningful points so you can see progress even when the finish line is far. Celebrate markers with tiny rewards that don't break momentum. Without markers, the brain forgets how far you've come and the loops return. If you fear criticism, set a review window. After you publish, no comments or analytics for a fixed number of hours. When the window opens, review with curiosity and pick 1 adjustment. That protects your energy and keeps learning clean. Try a 7-day action challenge. Each day, do 5 micro actions that take less than 2 minutes each. Drink water on purpose. Move briefly. Step outside for light. Touch the scary task for 5 honest minutes. Log a win. If you hit 3 out of 5, the day counts. Keep the rules forgiving so you keep going. Do a friction audit tonight. Pick 3 hotspots where you stall and remove 90 seconds of pain from each. Set your workspace before bed. Lay clothes with socks inside shoes. Write a reusable message template. 90 seconds removed today erases 10 minutes of loops tomorrow. Build a done shelf. Save small artifacts of anything you finish. Screenshots, drafts, checklists. On days when your mind lies, open the shelf and stare at proof. Confidence grows from evidence more than from pep talks. If you're coming back from failure, write a capacity plan. List a few daily actions that keep you human while you repair. Eat enough. Move a bit. See daylight. Have 1 supportive contact point. Build work in small pieces around that base. Capacity isn't indulgence. It's the power grid that keeps the lights on while you fix the wiring. Use a courage ladder. Make the scary things small, then medium, then normal. Send the pitch to a small target first. Ask 1 person for feedback before you ask 10. Publish to a smaller platform before the big one. Laddered courage compounds. When your mind loops at night, move your body quietly rather than wrestling thoughts. Sit up. Feet on floor. Sip water. Name 3 things you see and 2 sounds you hear. Go back to bed and count a boring sequence. The job at 3 a.m. isn't to solve your life. It's to lower arousal so sleep can return. Curate inputs. Subscribe to sources that teach you. Mute sources that spike anxiety. Keep a short reading queue. When you finish something, replace it with one new thing. When you don't, let it expire. Inputs should serve outputs. Protect departures. If you're often late because you try one more task, set a hard handoff. 10 minutes before leaving, all tasks stop and the only job is exit. Pack keys door. Overthinking loves last-minute additions. Guard the handoff and your day calms down. Upgrade your environment with triggers. Put a sticky note with the first step on your keyboard. Move your charger across the room. Keep a water bottle where you sit. Keep a pen and card in your pocket for ideas. Environmental cues beat willpower. Use 2 clocks during the day. One for work time, one for worry time. If a worry pops up during work time, park it for the worry clock later. When the worry clock arrives, give it 5 honest minutes, answer what you can, and move on. Keeping worry contained keeps work clean. Add a small movement pairing to tasks that often stall. 1 minute of light squats before writing, a short stretch before editing, a walk to the mailbox after sending a tough message. Movement signals transition. Transitions carry you over the friction. If you track analytics for your content, set guardrails. Review at set times, not constantly. Decide what metrics truly matter for your current season. Pick one adjustment per review cycle and ignore the rest. Analytics are tools, not a scoreboard for your worth. Simplify collaboration. Agree on file names, locations, and handoff rules. Decide how feedback is delivered and when. Fuzzy edges create extra thinking. Clear lanes create speed. Create a refusal to ruminate plan. When you feel the pull to replay a moment, you redirect to a rescue task. Wipe the counter. Step outside. Do breath work. Write a single line in your ledger. Repeat until the loop loses interest. Keep a momentum menu near your desk. It's a short list of tiny actions that always count. Open the project file. Draft 1 messy hook. Rename 3 assets. Clear 5 emails. Add 1 bullet to an outline. When in doubt, pick one from the menu and move. Debug your day with simple questions. Where did I hesitate? What friction was present? How can I remove 90 seconds of that friction tomorrow? What helped me start fast? What made me stop early? The goal isn't judgment. The goal is design. Train automaticity with anchors. Tie repeated actions to time or place. When you sit at the desk, the quick start ritual happens. When you finish lunch, the 5-minute block happens. Anchors make action inevitable. Build calm loops on purpose. A short tea ritual before study. A specific song while setting up lights. A small desk tidy before shutting down. Calm loops reduce startup costs and shrink the space for overthinking. Choose a rest block each week where you refuse to optimize. No plans, no productivity. Rest is part of the system that lets action feel light. A tired brain thinks more and does less. A rested brain does more and thinks less. Remember that most problems get smaller once they touch reality. The draft that felt impossible becomes a page after the first messy line. The conversation you dreaded becomes a plan after the first sentence. The workout you avoided becomes motion after the shoes go on. Reality is kinder than predictions. So here's how you end tonight. Pick one very small move you can do right now. Open the file and write a messy first line. Send the message that unblocks the next step. Place your shoes by the door. Put water by your bed. Give yourself a closing line for the day and mean it. Today counted. You moved something forward. That is how you beat overthinking. Not with perfect plans or endless analysis, but with a pattern of tiny starts, short reviews, and honest finishes repeated more days than not. Save this and come back whenever your mind starts spinning. Run the moves again. You don't have to think your way into a perfect life. You act your way into better days, one small step at a time.